All right, let's talk about the Oklahoma Sooners here a little bit. This is a program you and I really like to talk about, one of the true blue bloods in college football. A lot of great legends have gone through the doors at Oklahoma. And we've got an interesting story out of spring ball about maybe a potential future legend already making a great impression on his new coaches.
Yeah, Nick, Oklahoma, a lot of great talent coming into this team. And the story that you have today is about some of the best talent we've seen in Oklahoma in a while. But, that's not the only great player that everybody is excited to see. And that's why we know today in the comments below, who are you excited to see in spring ball? Who do you want to see? Who do you think maybe is going to break out, be a big time contributor to this team? Let us know in the comments below. But, Nick, who is everybody talking about that is really standing out in spring ball?
Yeah, so obviously, as we finished up recruiting and going into spring ball, everyone's excited to see these big name recruits, especially at these key positions, see what they look like. When it comes to Oklahoma, it begins and ends with all the buzz around five-star quarterback Jackson Arnold. And over at the Oklahoman, they have a good report about Arnold's impressions so far. So this is from the report. Even though Dylan Gabriel is set to return as OU football's #1 quarterback this season, freshman Jackson Arnold continues to make a big impression. Sooners offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby said after Tuesday's spring practice opener, quote, "He's come in and he's picked everything up and he's worked incredibly hard. He spent a lot of time building on his own. He understands what it means to be the guy here and understand what it's going to take for him to get to that point." Arnold, a five-star prospect out of Texas Power Denton, guy went 20-3 as a starting quarterback in high school, passing for more than 7,000 yards and 67 touchdowns with just 8 interceptions. All right, Mize, anyone who has spent less than, or any more, I should say, than 2 seconds around Oklahoma football this offseason knows that Jackson Arnold is all the buzz. Dylan Gabriel is a quality quarterback. He's done a solid job, but he is not of the level as former Oklahoma grades, whether it's Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts from Alabama, of course, Baker Mayfield, right? You look at a guy like Arnold, seems to be the heir apparent to the Oklahoma Sooners' glory. And the fact that he's coming in and having the right mental fortitude and impressing Levy at this point in the game is a great sign for the Sooners program going forward. Because I think everyone will agree, Arnold is the future. And the fact that he has the right headspace at this point, being such a young guy. Remember, the kid's like 18, right? We're talking about his maturity at this level. He's basically acting like an NFL starter at 18 years old, which is a great sign for the Sooners. Miles, give me your thoughts on Arnold, Oklahoma, and just everything with the story right now.
Yeah, Nick, this kid was incredible coming out of high school. Obviously, he's got the size already, 6'1", 205 pounds, playing in some big-time college football, or high school football, rather, down in Texas. Might as well be college at that point. He's one of the top players in Texas, #2 player in Texas, #4 quarterback in the country, #8 player in the nation in this class. But all of those accolades, it just gives you hope and lets you think this guy is the real deal. And we're not the only ones saying it, Nick. Mike Farrell came out today, and there's an article over on Heartland College Sports, and he said just to look forward that he thinks potentially Arnold is going to be the full-time starter at some point in 2023. And now that
Really?
might not be the case. But there's a thought out there. As good as Gabriel has been, people are thinking that Arnold is going to come out, and he's already been so impressive that there's potential that to put that thought in your head already that he could be a full-time starter this season, Nick. This guy is a big-time signing. I think he's going to be the future at Oklahoma. And I think this is really interesting. What do you think about some of these comments? They are just comments, but what do you think about a bold statement such as that?
So it's one of those things when you're a five-star like Arnold is, and you have all the pressure that goes in. And let's compare it with an Arch Manning, right? Arch Manning has the pedigree of, going to Texas. Oklahoma's bitter rival, of course, and everyone's like expecting great, wondrous, amazing things out of Manning. We have not heard nearly this level of conversation about Manning. Look, we know Manning's a talented guy, obviously #1 overall recruit, or depending on who you ask, #1 or #2 overall recruit, #1 or 2 overall quarterback. Got all the physical tools, great genes. Obviously, smart kid. Manning seems everything put together seems like a great prospect, but he has not gotten nearly the same amount of praise as Arnold has gotten at Oklahoma, which I think to me is very interesting because you look at a guy like Arnold, right? He's not as big a recruit, even though he's a five-star guy, as a guy like Arch Manning was, as a guy like Nico over at University of Tennessee is, but he is actually getting the accolades as if he is that guy. And it makes me think maybe the Sooners, obviously a five-star guy, you can't really think of him as a hidden gem. Maybe the Sooners got something even more special than they potentially thought. And I really love seeing these young kids that have the right mentality, because one of the things that happens, I feel like, is these young freshmen or sophomores come in and they have a good year, but they're not right in the head, mentally don't have everything under control, and they kind of fall off from there. I think DJ Uiagalelei over at Clemson, or formerly of Clemson, is a great example of that, right? physical tools guy, comes in, has a great start to his career, mentally isn't right there with Clemson, falls off, right? We've seen that happen before. This will not be the case with Arnold. And I think that's why you see all these pundits and all these people looking at him and say, listen, this guy has all the physical tools, 5-star guy. He's got the right mental makeup, right? He seems to be the future of this franchise. And if he keeps heading down the direction he is now, the future will be now, because so far he's impressing over even the biggest names in college football in terms of young rising quarterbacks. So I think if you look at this from a Sooners fan's perspective, you can't think of anything, you couldn't want anything better from this kid at this point in his career.